All right, let's get into it, man. Congratulations to the New York Knicks on winning the NBA championship this season. I mean, hats off to those guys. You know, a great group through and through, right? But I did not in no way, shape, or form had the New York Knicks winning the title this year. I actually thought that the Oklahoma City Thunder would be hoisting the trophy at the end of the season. But again, this Knicks team, in the beginning of the year, where people said the East was wide open just due to the fact that the Indiana Pacers didn't have Tyrese Halliburton. He would miss the year. Jason Tatum would miss a bulk of the year. And you said to yourself, well, what other team or teams could be there? Yes, we know the Cleveland Cavaliers did make the trade for James Harden and things like that. But as the playoffs started and things started to become more clearer, and the Knicks ultimately beating the Atlanta Hawks, then going out there and sweeping the Philadelphia 76ers, then in the Eastern Conference Finals turning around and sweeping the Cleveland Cavaliers. Ultimately, you said to yourself, well, me personally, if they play the Spurs or they play the Thunder, I think either one of those teams could beat the Knicks. That's what I said to myself. Personally, I'm like, well, I think the Spurs can beat the Knicks. I thought it was going to happen in 6 games, honestly. And I just thought the Thunder would be a better matchup for them, being as though they have that championship pedigree. But again, hats off to the Knicks, man. They played great in all 5 games. Now, granted, the game that they did lose, we know that the Spurs weren't just going to go out and lay down. But the Spurs had their opportunities. They did. Let's not make no mistake. The Spurs have their opportunities, and I'll talk about that in a separate video. But when you look at in its totality, Jalen Brunson is now cemented his legacy as one of the greatest New York Knicks players ever. To bring a championship to that city, to play the way he did in Game 5, to put that team and this team on his back. This team has an identity, and the identity is Jalen Brunson. You know, you look at the addition of Karl Anthony Towns, you look at the Josh Harts, the Mikal Bridges, the Mitchell Robinsons, who had probably the biggest rebound in Knicks basketball history. This team, you know, being veterans, this team being led in a way that, again, like I said, they shared one common goal. A lot of people wrote off Mike Brown after his time in Sacramento, and you look at what he was able to accomplish with this group. Again, man, job well done. Congratulations to the New York Knicks. Now we can see if they can repeat next year. But let me know what you guys think.